getting your Outschool students to come back every week, excited to learn with you, excited to come to your class, motivated, ready to answer those questions is so much more important than finding new students every week. We want those students to come back every week. Here's why. Let's unpack this. So if you have to constantly find new students every week, there are two things. One, that's a lot of work, a lot of hours spent marketing yourself on social media, marketing your classes to find those students. And two, if you have to constantly be finding new students, that means there are a lot of students leaving your classroom. Or the other option, if we have students come back to your class week after week, month after month, year after year, you have, one, a really good relationship with that student. Two, your classroom is so fun and engaging. They're excited to come back every single week. And then we start to see the snowball effect, I like to call it, come into play. Your classroom is super fun. The student is super excited to come back every week to learn with you. And then you get those good reviews coming in. You're building a good relationship with that student. Now that student and their parents are telling their friends about your classroom. So you'll have friends come join your classroom. So those parents now and students are doing some marketing for you. And those parents are much more likely to, one, trust a friend to sign up for your classroom. So there's a lot of work on the back end happening to get those students to your classroom. And once you have students in your classroom for months and years, you can have a reliable, consistent income and be not feeling like you're on your toes. Like, what is this month going to bring? Am I going to have enough students this month? It doesn't happen when you are focusing on retaining your students. So how do we do this? By focusing on our lessons, making them fun and engaging. And how do we do that? We can gamify our lessons. And I'm going to show you 3 ways today how you can gamify your current lesson you are teaching to make it fun, give it that boost so students are participating and ready to come back. So let's dive into these 3 ideas. And yes, take a current lesson. Think of a lesson with the lesson in mind of how you can apply what you learned in this video to your current lesson to give it that boost of engagement and excitement. If you're not quite sure what gamification is, then be sure to watch last week's video. I really dive into what gamification is and what does it look like in the classroom and life in general, because gamification is actually all around us. You're probably using it every day. So go ahead and watch that video if you want some more clarification on what it is and how we can use it. So think of that current lesson you are teaching and let's spice it up. I'm going to show you how to use badges and levels, a memory game, and a quick review game. Starting simple are letting our students earn badges or completing levels. This works really well with tutoring students. So when your student has mastered a skill, or even after each class, or they've completed a unit of study with you, they can earn a badge. So for example, maybe it's math. They've mastered multiplication, they can get a multiplication badge. Or they mastered using an array to solve multiplication, they earned a badge. You can display it on the screen for them. I had a client use badges with her class, and she had all the badges on the screen that they could earn, but they were all grayed out. So they couldn't see like the actual badge, but they knew how many badges they could earn and for what. And then when they accomplished that skill, they earned the badge and it wasn't grayed out anymore. Now it was bright popping color that they earned that skill. They passed it off. They mastered it. That could be used with any subject easily. Same example with levels. They could level up. I'm thinking of a reading class. You could have different levels for your reading class. So they're learning, just basic sentence structure. They've got it down. They passed that level off. Now they're on level 2. Now what's that next step? That's going to be, adding just a little bit harder information, practice it, teach it. Once they got it, passed off that level, then what is the next step? What's that next thing they're ready to learn? So it's super fun. Badges and levels are easy to implement with your class. They're easy to create either in Google Slides or Canva. And you can just present them to your students and be all excited that they have earned this accomplishment. And they're proud to show off their badges. Number 2, a memory game is super fun and a simple game to put together. Memory game, the type of information that works really well with a memory game are those vocab words. So if you have any terms and definitions, these could be vocab words like math related that you want students to practice. This could be words you really want to focus on and learn the meaning of them for a book you're reading. So that game for the book, you can play it before you read the book. Gauge what does students know for those words, and then you can play it after. Do they remember those meanings of those words as they go along to match the word and definition? It could be for science. You have the element, and then you can match it to actual element written out. Like, what is one? It is this element. For history, you could have a date, and then they need to match it with a key event that happens at that time period, or list like presidents, their names, and then they're matching it with the order of their presidency. There are a lot of ways you can use a memory matching game to practice, to review. So look into your lesson, your current lesson. Is there anything that can be matched in there? The memory game, easily created in Google Slides or Canva. So adding in these games, even though they're super simple, really will motivate your students to participate. And when they are participating, actively participating, they are, cameras are on, they're not on mute, and they are fully engaged in your classroom and what you're teaching them. And when they're fully engaged, they are retaining that information more than they would just filling out a worksheet, just reading a story, and then answering questions. And when they're having fun and motivated and learning and just excited about your class, then they will be excited to come back every week. Game number 3, this is a really good review game, and this one is actually a game site. It is called Blooket. And if you are not familiar with this game site, I highly recommend that you check it out. It is free, and be sure to watch this video here. I will walk you through how to use it, set up a game for your students. There are pre-made games on there with questions, pre-made questions that other teachers have created. So you can search the site to see if there is a question set already created that will work for your class, or you can create your own questions. And then there are several game modes to play on Blooket. So usually I let students pick between like 2 or 3. These are options. Which one do you guys want to play? And then they'll pick, and then we can play the game. Blooket I really like for review, where your answers are pretty fast to answer. Your students know the information. They've been exposed to the information before before your quiz. So they're familiar with it. Because it's a faster paced game. In order to keep up with the game and not to get frustrated with it, they need to know the information well enough to review it. So Blooket could work really well with math facts, any math equation, term, definition, comprehension questions about a book you read. Any multiple choice answers will work fabulous. Why I really like Blooket is because the winner is up for anyone. In some games, you always have like the fastest person is always on top, always winning. In Blooket, those games are based on chance. So winning is up to anyone. The winner spot is up for grabs. just the roll of the dice. So it makes it fun for students. And my students absolutely love Blooket. It is one of their favorite games, and it's a great game to play at the end of class to wrap things up. Let's review what we just taught, either in that class or, after several days with your students in a course. So we have 3 easy, simple ways to start gamifying your classroom right now. But watch this next video for the 3 top engaging games I recommend, and they will work for any subject and any lesson you're teaching. These 3 games are just the top. You should always have them in your toolkit to be able to teach with, and your students will be engaged and absolutely love these games. So be sure to check out this video next week. The top 3 engaging games you can use in your classroom. See you next time.